Alright, we're back in the card shop. We got all the Millennium items. Let's go talk to Joey, not Joey, before we head off. Hey, not Joey, what's it? We got some trouble. You look like you're smiling to me. Okay, that sucks. They stole Teyana, but you look like you're smiling. Are you happy about that? Just the expression you're wearing, but... Right, but you seem excited, like you wanted this to happen. Is there something you're not telling me? Were you waiting for this? Are you part of the plot? Welcome to the Labyrinth Mage, also known as the guy with my favorite fucking visual design in the game. If you look at his character model, you'll notice it's composed mostly of hard lines. Not just in the metal in his cloak, but the painting on his face as well. Very hard lines, very deliberate lines that look like the walls in a labyrinth. So the artist really knew what they were fucking doing, is what I'm saying. It looks like an actual villain from Yu-Gi-Oh! Also, the way he's looking at the player, the way he's standing, just his general imposing presence makes him seem like a giant wall himself. Carries himself very threateningly. This might go over your head though when you're playing the game, because he doesn't play all that threateningly. It's basically a big fucking pushover aside from Labyrinth Wall. He also has Labyrinth Tank, which is also thematically relevant, but doesn't fucking help too much. Anyway, because the Labyrinth Mage is such a bit character, I really wanted to point out how great his visual design is and how hard the artist thought about something you're never going to think about, at least until you watch this video. And I know, so before I make fun of this, I know that it's common to exaggerate bodily features and anatomy for the sake of style. That's fine. Exaggerating characteristics has been a thing since art has been a thing. But also, the Labyrinth Mage's fucking neck. How do you make your neck that thick? Do you do, do you lift weights with your neck? It fucking fits with his overall design. It really fits, but also, oh my god. It's just like a big muscle pipe. Hey, cute, the AI actually used a trap card that does something. No biggie, though. And I'm glad that it's no biggie, because all the trap cards the final bosses use just completely fuck you over. Though I guess Labyrinth Tank technically is one of the final bosses. We're in the endgame now, actually. And Labyrinth Mage here is part of a 7-duel boss rush. But overtaking Labyrinth Mage is nothing. It's everybody after him that you need to worry about. My jaw just popped in the most unpleasant fashion. And yes, I'm fucking aware that I accidentally called Labyrinth Mage Labyrinth Tank back there. No, I'm not going to go back there and fix it. Alright, this is very passionate, very in-the-moment commentary. The only reason for me to go back and fix shit would be if I completely fucked it up. It really, really fucking sucks to have Dark Hole as your only monster removal option. But at least in this game, it removes everything from the field, which is ridiculous and never would be allowed in the actual card game. But it's really fucking helpful here. Because the last thing you want is the AI building back row. It doesn't happen often, but when it fucking does, that's bad, especially late in the game, when every single piece of back row is widespread ruin. And because, unlike most of the cards I mentioned, I don't actually know what widespread ruin does in the actual card game, I was going to look it up in between that last sentence and this one, and then start talking about it like I knew what I was fucking saying, even though I cheated and used the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wikia. By the way, using the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wikia or any Wikipedia equivalent is not cheating. You have to get your information from somewhere. But anyway, The Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki is not loading, so the last stretch of commentary for this duel is just gonna be fucking nothing, basically. Because I'm watching it try to load, but it's not fucking working. It looks like the card art for the actual card game version of Widespread Ruin is fucking sick, though. Like, really rad. Unlike the version in this game, which is basically just a fire. So the Labyrinth, I can't remember when I first figured this shit out, but you just go right 2 times, then left, then right again. But no matter what, even if you know exactly where you're going, Jono never stops fucking complaining. He takes 2 steps to lose his mind. Hey, your guys' names, they're actual approximations of real ancient Egyptian words. That's kind of fucking cool. And the only reason I know that is because in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie, they brought an Egyptologist on to help Anubis speak at least semi-realistic ancient Egyptian. And both of these characters' names are words he used. A lot. I mean, I could actually look this shit up for myself, but why would I do that? Why would I do that when I have my knowledge from watching the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie so many fucking times? In 4K quality. So I think these fuckers, these red and green fuckers, I think they have a para and docs sort of thing going on. Except thankfully the game does not include tag team duels. But anyway, speaking of para and docs, the visual design for the characters in this game really makes me fucking realize that para and docs look like shit. Like, the artist for the NPC characters in this game went so full fucking out that a lot of the characters in Yu-Gi-Oh!, the actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga and anime, just look like shit in comparison. There's such a distinctive cast of characters that don't get any meaningful dialogue at fucking all, and it's a shame. Maybe Konami should hire the artist for this game to make all Yu-Gi-Oh! Art for every Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing ever in the future. I think that would be a really good idea. I'd like to point out that while fighting these two guys doesn't seem like a big deal while you're watching the Let's Play or like a big deal in a vacuum, when you're playing the game and you have to do this 7 duel boss rush, you'll start to hate these two fuckers. And it's not because they're especially hard, it's because you just want to get the fuck back to where you lost at so you can retry the duel. Having a retry duel function would help a whole fucking lot. But no, for this entire section of the game, the whole end game, the game's like, haha, fuck you, eat shit. Maybe you thought this game was made by sane people, and the fights against Mage Capuria, that was just a fluke in the design, you know? No, the game's fucking shit. Can we talk about Soul Hunter for a fucking second? Because I am so pissed at Soul Hunter. To get Soul Hunter, you fuse a fucking genie and an alien bug. But Soul Hunter is clearly a clown riding a dragon. A clown with a scythe. You know, we have a masked clown, which is a clown with a scythe. And the dragon that Soul Hunter is riding looks a lot like Crawling Dragon. So why the fuck isn't Soul Hunter just a fusion of Crawling Dragon and masked clown? Why is it a bug and a genie? Who fucking did that? Because I really want to play Soul Hunter. I do. I would love to play Soul Hunter because it looks rad as shit. Look at it. But I refuse to play it because I refuse to summon a bug and a genie to get it. Alright? Half of the reason I play the cards I do is for aesthetic or thematic reasons, and I can't fucking do it. I can't fusion a bug and a genie and say, yep, that makes a clown riding a dragon. What, are they just fucking pull it out of a lottery, or... What the hell? Oh, hey look, it's Ushioni, which as I understand it means demon cow. Not to be confused with Abare Ushioni, which apparently means really fucking mad demon cow. Both of these are cards, one of them is better than the other. I hope you're enjoying your in-depth Yu-Gi-Oh! Trivia. You know, the thing that really sucks about this boss rush is that all the good story shit, all the payoff for the build-up, is right here at the end. And it's some really good payoff, too. But you'll probably learn to hate it if you're actually playing the game yourself, because of all the bullshit on the way. You know, I like when villains do that whole "I can't lose to a child" thing, but it would really help if Heishin also told me how many years this plan had been going on for, because I like that even more. Especially if it's a really fucking absurd amount of time. But in all honesty, this plan doesn't seem like it would take that long to execute. Based on what we know so far, you just have to figure out where the scepter is, and then where the Forbidden Ruins are, and then you've got pretty much all the setup ready. And all the dialogue and the opening cinematic really suggests that Heishin's changes are kind of new, so he probably wasn't planning this for very long. Wonder what his life was like before this bullshit. Anyway, the fight against Heishin sucks. He has a blue eyes that he can just pull out whenever, and he has what's that thing called? Meteor Black Dragon, blah blah blah. You need equip cards and field spells to win. That's basically all it boils down to. You can also use monster removal to get rid of his blue eyes and Meteor Black Dragons, and then you're pretty much home free, because you can only have 3 of those. As much as the AI cheats, I don't believe they're allowed to have more than 3 cards still. 3 of 1 card, I mean. This fight still really fucking sucks, and I'm a little pissed at how easy I'm making it look, because I've lost here so many fucking times. Because you get over his army of Blue Eyes and Meteor Black Dragons, and he's like, aha, I've got Widespread, that card that destroys your monsters. And you know this isn't the final battle. If you've been paying attention to the story, you know it can't end here, because there's too many questions left to answer. So even after you finally beat this guy, and during your duel with him, you're like, Jesus Christ, there's more after this shit? And yes, there is more. There's a lot more. There's so much more. They have to prolong your suffering. And they have to prolong your suffering right alongside all of the interesting story payoff. Right next to it. If they would just let me retry the duels. Alright, so now we know for sure that Seto is the true descendant of the long line of Dark Sorcerers. And he was just using Heishin to get what he needed. You know, the Millennium items, they're his birthright, and he wants them. And we're in his way, and he happens to have the ultimate blue eyes. And thank fuck he didn't play it on his first turn, because if he did, we'd just be fucking screwed. He says this is the final battle. I fucking wish this were the final battle, Seto. I really fucking wish it were. It's definitely the hardest battle, so it would be appropriate, but no. We got more. You have no idea how many times I lost here and had to restart the entire boss rush until Seto finally fucking decided not to draw ultimate blue eyes on his first turn. It took so many fucking tries. And it's really fucking hard to focus on how the story is going in interesting places when you're just so pissed at the actual gameplay. You know, I don't even want to fucking be here during this duel because it's giving me so much trauma. I don't want to be here during this. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna walk away and go get some food or something. So yeah, the story and dialogue just decided to get really fucking good during that last cutscene. Like, really fucking good. That's some grade A payoff for all the fucking build-up. And I'm really glad about that. Story's actually good. I mean, yeah, it's a fucking sequence of people double-crossing each other, but it's done in a really interesting way that makes good use of the story mechanics. The only complaint I have, and this may be intentional, is that Dark Knight is basically just a big fucking baby. He's basically just a big toddler. Like, he was brought back using the Millennium items, and Heishin was like, aha! Now you have to obey me because I did the pact thing with the Millennium items. And Dark Knight's like, what Millennium items? I don't fucking see them. And it's because they're in his goddamn body. I just always thought that was funny, is that he's basically a fucking toddler. What Millennium items? I don't see him, so it doesn't count. And even after we got his ass on a technicality, rather than just obey us and leave like the contract said he would, he's like, well, you know, I should leave and honor my pact, but also, what if I just didn't, and we did some card games instead? And you may think this is just unintentional, really shitty writing because they wanted you to have a big finale against the guy who created the cards. And I thought that at first too. But the next cutscene with him really makes me think that he was portrayed as a big baby, like a huge fucking whiny toddler on purpose. Anyway, yeah, when I said that the game goes really way too deep into how the cards were created and how they got their power, this is what I meant. The cards we are playing with right now were created by a dark god from a different dimension that was brought to this realm using sacred items. Like, holy shit, what? And if you want to really, really stretch it, this can also explain why the card art doesn't really fit with the ancient Egyptian theme all the time. Like why there are machine monsters. This Dark Knight fucker, he's from a different dimension, alright? For all you know, he could be from all dimensions simultaneously and he's just like trapped in like a crack between them. So he could have seen several different futures. And maybe all these cards are based off his own experiences. Maybe he lives in the Shadow Realm. It's left ambiguous. So if you wanted to really stretch it, you could say that none of these cards are technically out of place, because Dark Knight isn't even from this world. I just wanted to say that this Let's Play has been really cathartic. I really enjoyed the commentary part of the Let's Play, even if I hated playing the game, and I'm thankful I could share the game with so many people because, frankly, I think the narrative in the presentation is underrated. I think the story is great and it goes in really interesting places, even if it has some obvious problems. You can tell from a narrative standpoint that, like the name of this game suggests, they wanted this to be the true Duel Monsters. They wanted to explore the idea of Duel Monsters as thoroughly as they could in this video game, while still making mad cash off of it. And from a narrative standpoint, I think they did a really fucking good job, so I hope you enjoyed the Let's Play.